Let's quickly go Armageddon. So back to Ukraine. As you might know, probably know, in a, oops, what did I do there? In a, I guess, a meeting with high-level donors, Biden said something like, you know, we're closer to Armageddon now than we have been at any point in time since the Cuban Missile Crisis. And, you know, that might be true. That might be true. I'm not sure we were that close to Armageddon during the Cuban Missile Crisis, but yes, there hasn't really been a nuclear crisis, a global nuclear crisis since then, although one could argue that Yom Kippur War in 1973, I think the U.S. had nukes in the air. Israel certainly had nukes in the air. Russia was intense because Russia was supporting the Arabs, the U.S. supporting Israel, and there was a little bit, everybody was on pins and needles. And in those days, I think we weren't talking about tactical nukes in Ukraine. We were talking about Russia, U.S. Annihilating each other. But, you know, but what a stupid thing to say. I mean, I know Joe Biden doesn't quite realize this, but maybe somebody should whisper in his ear that he is the president of the United States of America, that his job is not to scare the bejesus out of people. It's not to terrify people, particularly not if he wants to continue supporting Ukraine, but it's actually to calm things down. It's not to spur Putin on. It's not to reveal our strategic options. It's actually calm things down and to actually plan with his military generals to plan for how to make sure that we don't achieve nuclear Armageddon. That is, that even if the Russians use a tactical nuke, how do we A, try to encourage them, encouraging quote, not to use the tactical nuke, and B, even if they do use the tactical nuke, how do we make sure that doesn't turn into a humanity-ending global Armageddon? Instead, he tells them, yeah, we're close to Armageddon. You know, they use tactical nuke, we could be at Armageddon. And, you know, that is unhelpful, it's stupid, it's, you know, instead, what he could do is say, look, I'm drawing a red line, and this is a red line we, the United States, as the most powerful military on planet Earth, is drawing. We, as right now the guarantor of security in Europe, is drawing, as the leader of NATO is drawing, and that is, we will not accept the use of nuclear weapons in Europe. If nuclear weapons are used, that would be a declaration of war against NATO, but that would be more than that. Not only would Putin have written a death warrant on himself, but everybody in the line of command, everybody in the chain of command in Russia associated with this decision, everybody, from congressmen to military leaders who are associated with the decision to use a nuclear weapon in this war will be, will be a war criminal and will be open season for assassination. Every single one of you. We will not tolerate this. Now that is strength. That is kind of a Ronald Reagan empire, evil empire. You will not do this. If you do, you all die. And it doesn't mean, and you could even say, we're not going to nuke Moscow. There's a lot of innocent people in Moscow. We don't think should suffer from this. But Putin, look right into the camera. Putin, you're a dead man. One way or the other. You and everybody who assists you, you're all dead if you do this. I think that would stop them. They don't want to die. They don't want to die. So anyway, that would be what I would do. I'm not president of the United States. Joe Biden is, but I don't think he realizes it quite, or at least he forgets sometimes. He, like almost every president in in recent American history, is just a bubbling idiot. And these people, they don't think strategically. This is one of the great fallacies of foreign policy, American foreign policy, is since World War II, I do not think the United States has had a foreign policy strategy. I don't think we've had presidents capable and competent enough to actually think strategically. Think strategically. By the way, there's no reason to invade Russia in order to kill Putin or to kill a few generals or to kill some military. And you are unlikely to ever have to do it. Again, don't have to invade any place in order to do it. First of all, you destroy every piece of Russian equipment that's in Ukraine today. You could do that by air. You could do that within days. The NATO Air Force would absolutely demolish the entire Russian military that's in Ukraine and in Russia. But if you don't want to attack Russia itself, you could just stick it to Ukraine. You just demolish every single piece of it. That bridge, imagine what an F-22 and F-35 would do to that bridge. One plane. I mean, that bridge would be gone. It would be complete in rubble if the United States decided to do that. No, I mean, you don't have to invade Russia. You don't have to inflict so much pain on them and describe that pain in detail in advance so that, it just wouldn't exist. This idea, I mean, the Russian military is a paper tiger, always has been, was in the days of the Soviet Union, certainly is in the days of Russia under Putin. It's a paper tiger. It's a nothing entity. And our president needs to stand up and say that and project strength and project certainty and project commitment and draw red lines. Draw red lines. So, and look, Russia's poor. Russia's getting poorer. 60,000 plus Russians already dead in this war. You just articulate and spell out what would happen without being vague, without Armageddon. Armageddon means we're going to launch against, I mean, really. Spell it out in detail. And it will, they will back down. They will not use tactical nukes. They do not want to die. All right, so surprise, surprise, Biden is pathetic. And is a pathetic leader and a pathetic communicator and just ridiculous. Thank you for listening or watching the Yaron Brook Show. If you'd like to support the show, we make it as easy as possible for you to trade with me. You get value from listening. You get value from watching. Show your appreciation. You can do that by going to yaronbrookshow.com/support, by going to Patreon, Subscribestar, Locals, and just making a appropriate contribution on any one of those channels. Also, if you'd like to see the Yaron Brook Show grow, please consider sharing our content and, of course, subscribe. Press that little bell button right down there on YouTube so that you get an announcement when we go live. And for those of you who are already subscribers and those of you who are already supporters of the show, thank you. I very much appreciate it.